Good morning. Monday morning. I actually got up early this morning. I think I got up around 6 o'clock with my cat as usual. And I have forgotten to take my supplements. So I just kind of went about my day and I literally forgot about taking the supplements. And so I'm going to take them now with you. Okay, so what I do is I keep them in this little container. It just makes it a lot easier, right? So it's like full of goodies. So um, the moringa, I'm running out. If I only have a few left, but this is for chelation, so I do not take this until 10:30. 10:30, right? So I take 4 omega 3s, and these are, how much is in there? Let me see. It's omega 3 complex, so it's salmon and fish oil. And I remember taking this when I was a little girl, and the nuns would give it to us, and I mean a tablespoon every day. So 4 of these tablets, I literally open them up and I put it in a tablespoon, and it literally makes a tablespoon. So that's what I just take. The few that my body requires. And what I try to do is I try to get my supplements through my food. And that's what I've been doing with the quercetin, because I can't afford the quercetin. So I'm making the red onion water, and I puree it, and I put filtered water in that I've boiled and I've filtered. And then I drink a massive mason jar full of it. So magnesium citrate, vitamin C from the dollar store, whatever works. This is important. Take your D3 with your K2, B12. I was finding that my body was not, sorry, my lighting just seems to mess up all the time. I was finding that my body is not hanging on to, oops, that's too bright. It's not hanging on to the B12, so I have to supplement. So B12. So I take my supplements with a Dahai yogurt, 2%. I still have the vitamin C. Mhm. Here we go. So it gives about a tablespoon, and will speed up that metabolism. And I've already had my glass of water with pink Himalayan salt on my tongue. So now I'm just going to take a couple of mouthfuls of this. And I take a couple of mouthfuls of this before I hit the sack at night, before I go to bed, so that I don't have a stroke during my sleep hours, right? So I take two or three mouthfuls of this, depending how I feel. I would take 2 or 3 mouthfuls of my cayenne water. It's an acquired taste, trust me. Just trust me. I think 2 mouthfuls is good. I've already had my coffee, which is a no-no. I'm not supposed to have my coffee until after I take my supplements, okay? So now I've got to wait 2 hours, and then I will come back in and open a moringa. I've only got 2 left, so I will put moringa on my gum. I literally put it right on my gum, and I'm telling you, 66 years old. I have gingivitis horribly in the front teeth, okay? So here, it's working. It really, truly is working. I'm also keeping an eye on the urine that I have in the little sample bottle sitting in the bathroom. I'm on the 5th day, and I'm keeping a record of what it looks like, how the coloring and the smell. So this is the 5th day, I believe it's the 5th day. And the color hasn't changed. It's got a kind of like a cloudy color to it, but that film that was in it, that was floating around, it's gone. So it's gone. So what I'm thinking is, if the stem cells multiply at such a rate, maybe what they're doing is they're feeding off the bacteria within that urine, with inside the urine that I've saved. Okay, so literally, I think the stem cells are literally eating up the bad bacteria and all the things that were in there that might have been, leaving trace amounts of bacteria that might cause issues, right? So I also been checking the smell. Now, when I first did the urine sample, and I put it in the little container, there was no smell. And the color was like perfect. It was like a lemonade color, really light, light, light lemonade. Then in the second day, there was a little yellow ring around the top and it had a little bit of a white film in it. Third day, there was no white film in it, but there was a little bit of cloudiness to the urine. And there was still that little yellow ring around the very top of the sample. Okay, so the fourth day, there wasn't much of a change. So I thought, well, geez, and the smell, when I first did the sample, there was no smell. Second day, it started to get a little bit of a musty smell. Third day, the little bit stronger musty smell. The fourth day, it was like a melon smell. It wasn't ammonia. They said what happens is the urea or something like that breaks down because of the bacteria in the air and stuff, especially if a sample is left out, right? But mine's closed up, but still it would have got a semblance of bacteria. So the urea in the urine, I think it's called urea, U-R-E-A-U or something like that, it breaks down. And it breaks down and it creates an ammonia smell. Well, on the fourth day, it didn't have an ammonia smell. I think the third day it had a musty type of ammonia smell, but it wasn't very strong. Wasn't very strong. And then this yesterday, it was a melon type smell, like those cantaloupes. You know what a cantaloupe smells like? It had that type of smell to it, right? So it's kind of odd, like my urine smells like a cantaloupe. Like, what the hell? Anyway, today I did the same thing. It's got the same type of cloudy texture. It still has that little ring around the top, although it's lighter, very, very light. It's not as dark yellow as it was. It seems to be lightening up. And the white film in the urine is lighter, if that makes any sense. It's lighter, but I will post pictures when I do that. I'm going to do like a whole video on from day 1 right through to day 18, right? But it's really odd because it has a melon smell. And so, the researcher in me is thinking, those T cells, I mean, they go where they need to go in order to create what they need to create. And they will get rid of certain toxins and bacteria. They will use it as energy or food in order to, accumulate or accommodate what they need to do, right? So I'm thinking that sample, I mean, I was saying that I'm not spraying that shit on my face if it smells like ammonia because that will burn, right? That will burn. And I'm not doing that. But if it doesn't have that, if it dissipates over that 18 days, and I'm kind of thinking that that's what it does, the ammonia will dissipate. Now, it did say that it literally separates, okay, the minerals, and there's minerals in your urine. There really is. There's minerals and trace elements of minerals that you need, okay, and vitamins that you need in your urine because it goes through your whole body. And what it's saying is that white film that first develops and sinks to the bottom of the urine sample is literally all the proteins in your body, the proteins that you've detox from, that your body has passed out, because that's the elimination process for the body, right? So the white film was literally the proteins that your body was passing out. And so now what I'm seeing is exactly what I thought, is that those proteins are being eaten or what would you say, like dissipated or eaten, whatever, by maybe the T cells. I mean, I'm just experimenting. I have no idea. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor. I'm not anything, right? It's just me, my journey. But from what I see is that it's the proteins that were in that urine are like dissipating. Where are they going? They don't just evaporate because it's closed up. So they're being eaten by perhaps the stem cells. So I'm thinking, I'm thinking at the end of that 18 days, if and only if there is no smell to that urine, I might test it. I might test it on a portion of my skin, maybe not my face, maybe my arm. I might test it. But I do remember the first day I did take a little spray of my urine the first day on my face. There was no burning, nothing, okay? So if I had, and if I had continued. Now the second day, I did attempt to spray it on my skin to see what the difference was, and it had a little bit of an ammonia smell, musty smell. And I did spray a little bit on my side of my face. And I didn't like the smell for sure, but it did burn, okay? So the first day there was no burning when I sprayed it on my skin. The second day, there was a little bit of burning that I had on the side of my face. Now, I went in and I washed it off because that's ammonia. That will burn your skin. So first day was okay to utilize it for a spray, what would you call it? A spritzer, right? Second day, no chance. So I'm waiting to see what happens at the end of that 18 days to see if that ammonia smell is still there. And I'm telling you, the urine sample is getting clear. It's getting clear. So I'm wondering at the end of 18 days if that urine sample will be clear, because it seems to be getting, the cloudiness seems to be dissipating. It seems to be clearing up. So I'm kind of excited about this, this experiment, because I'm learning, right? I'm learning about my own body. I'm learning about the things I put into my body. I'm learning about how to detox my body. And you know what? That's an exciting endeavor for me. I'm actually enjoying this experimentation. So that's the end of that long spiel. And I'm going to actually, if it doesn't have that ammonia smell, I will spray it. So be prepared for that and watch for that. Because, hell, you should know what's going into your body and what's coming out. And whether it's coming out in a good way or a bad way. Now, there's also something I want to tell you about what I found out through this. Your body actually detoxes by your sweating, okay? When you sweat, your temperature is raised or whatever, right? And you sweat. And I used to sweat like profusely when I was smoking. I was a heavy, heavy smoker for many years, and I was a heavy sweater. I couldn't put a shirt on I couldn't wear silk, let's put it that way, because I looked horrible. I would just like drench, right? And I was in the military, and I was a heavy equipment operator. So yeah, I sweat a lot. Yeah, a lot. Now, I barely sweat at all. I barely sweat at all. And when I do, when I need to have, a little bit of protection against that, I use the baking soda and the coconut oil, okay? And I make it into like an underarm deodorant, right? Now, what I found out is that when you use underarm deodorant, you're clogging those pores. You're stopping the sweat process. And the sweat process is basically your body getting rid of the toxins. Well, lately, I haven't been sweating. I haven't been sweating at all. So my body's doing its job. And, even when I do have a little bit of sweat under my arms, it doesn't even smell. Like, what? And another thing I learned too through the years when I had the cancers and all that, when my blood pressure was high, my body would get really, really hot. I would get hot flashes when my blood pressure was high, and that would warn me, right? My body talks to me and I listen to it. But also when I had the cancer at nighttime, my belief is that cancer feeds at night. And it feeds when you're at your most vulnerable, which is at night, when your body's starting to shut down, right? And I would crave sugar at like 10 o'clock at night. I would crave sugar, absolutely crave it. Like literally where I would sweat and I would think about it and think about it and think about it. So when I would get up and I would have a little bit of lemon juice. I would make my own lemon juice, and I would have a little bit of lemon juice, which of course, I think vitamin C, right? You got more vitamin C in lemon than you have in an orange, like truly. So I would take a mouthful of vitamin C water and go back to bed and everything was fine. And I would do that over a period of time, and eventually I stopped craving that sugar. right? And usually I would crave that sugar when I had a lesion that was out, right? A lesion that had elevated and formed irregular borders, those type of things. And I'm very, very cautious to watch for that. Watch for that like crazy. So that's what this was. This was a lump that had formed, and it was starting, I mean, I had it for a while, but it started to lift off the skin. It started to have irregular borders, and it looked more like a crusted mole, right? So I started doing this, but it's almost gone. I can peel that off and show it to you, but I'm going to leave that for another video. This has been a week that I've been treating it, and it's like, it's got the tiniest little hole from where the cancer was. It's just a tiny, tiny hole. And what I've been doing is the iodine and the baking soda. And last night I did take the Band-Aid off. I let it air and I put baking soda on it just to dry it up a little bit more. But I'll show you that in the next video. So all that yakking. Now I'm going to let you go. So yeah, so this is the end of this video, and I shall see you on the next one. The good Lord be willing. Namaste, my friends. Bye-bye.